If you've been waiting for a compact SUV that blends everyday comfort with true all-weather confidence, the 2026 Subaru Forester is probably already on your shortlist. Subaru has given it a full redesign for 2026. Sharper styling, a more refined interior, upgraded safety tech, and their latest evolution of symmetrical all-wheel drive. And with Subaru's reputation for long-term durability and adventure-ready engineering, the Forester continues to be one of the most trusted names in this segment. But here's the honest truth. Even with all these improvements, the 2026 Forester isn't perfect. Some upgrades are exciting, others raise eyebrows, and a few decisions may even make you question whether this is the right SUV for your lifestyle. From its updated 2.5-liter boxer engine and revised CVT tuning, to real-world fuel economy expectations, new tech integration, cabin practicality, and value compared to rivals like the RAV4, CR-V, and Tucson. There's a lot to unpack. And that's exactly what we're doing today. In this video, we're breaking down the 5 biggest pros and 5 biggest cons of the all-new 2026 Forester. The stuff you'll love, the stuff that might surprise you, and the stuff Subaru doesn't put in the brochure. Whether you're upgrading from an older Forester or cross-shopping the entire compact SUV lineup, this is the guide that'll help you make a smarter decision. So let's jump straight in. Here's everything the 2026 Subaru Forester gets right, and the flaws you need to know before buying. This is Parth, and you are watching MotorNation. Before we jump into today's video, here's something every true car enthusiast will love: our official website, MotorNationGroup.com. It's your go-to destination for everything automotive, from the latest car launches and industry news to detailed reviews, performance breakdowns, comparisons, buyer guides, and even insights into future tech shaping the next generation of vehicles. Join the MotorNation community, where passion meets performance and the drive never stops. Now, let's get into the video. Starting off with one of the Forester's biggest bragging rights: standard symmetrical all-wheel drive, a system that truly sets Subaru apart in this segment. While most rivals like the RAV4, CR-V, and Escape make you pay anywhere between $1,200 to $2,000 extra for AWD, Subaru gives it to you on every single trim, no exceptions. But it's not just the standard part that makes it special, it's how the system works. Subaru's AWD is a full-time setup, constantly distributing power to all 4 wheels, instead of waiting for slip like many part-time systems. This means the Forester reacts instantly on wet roads, loose gravel, icy highways, or steep inclines. Combine this with the low-mounted boxer engine, which drops the center of gravity by several inches compared to upright inline 4 competitors, and you get an SUV that feels planted, composed, and stable even when the weather goes sideways. For 2026, Subaru also updated X-Mode, fine-tuning the traction logic for deep snow, mud, and slippery climbs. It now adjusts throttle sensitivity, torque split, and will braking more aggressively, giving drivers noticeably more control during off-road or low-grip situations. In independent winter traction tests, previous Foresters consistently stopped shorter and maintained better directional control than many rivals, and the 2026 model is expected to continue that trend. Whether you're driving through seasonal snowfall, tackling rough rural roads, or just navigating unpredictable monsoon conditions, the Forester gives you a confidence that's hard to find in front-wheel drive competitors. And honestly, this is one of those features you don't think about until the day you really need it, and on that day, the Forester feels worth every penny. Moving on to the next pro: very good off-road capability, especially the wilderness trim. If you're the kind of driver who looks a muddy trail or a washed-out forest road and thinks, "Yeah, I can take that," then the 2026 Subaru Forester, particularly the wilderness trim, will feel like it was built exactly for you. The wilderness doesn't just add cosmetic upgrades. Subaru engineered it to be a true adventure tool. It starts with a class-leading 9.3 inches of ground clearance, a number that beats many rivals like the RAV4 Adventure, 8.6 in, and the CR-V AWD 8.2N. This extra clearance gives you the freedom to glide over obstacles that would force other compact SUVs to turn back or scrap. Subaru then equips it with a reinforced long-travel suspension setup, which helps soak up bumps, rocks, and uneven off-road surfaces without beating up you or your passengers. It's tuned to stay composed when the road disappears, something you really feel when climbing over uneven ruts or descending a steep trail. The Yokohama Geolandar all-terrain tires are another major upgrade. These aren't your everyday crossover tires. They're chunkier, more aggressive, and designed to dig into mud, gravel, and snow. Combined with the Wilderness's matte black wheels and slightly wider stance, you get better stability and traction where it matters most. Even beyond the specs, the Forester itself helps build confidence. Huge windows give you exceptional visibility. The compact dimensions make tight trails easier to navigate, and Subaru's flat engine design lowers the center of gravity, helping the SUV feel planted even on off-camber terrain. Put all of this together, and the 2026 Forester Wilderness isn't just trail-friendly. It's a genuinely capable, lightly rugged adventure SUV that outperforms most crossovers in its class. For weekend hikers, campers, and anyone chasing dirt roads rather than avoiding them, this is a pro that matters. Moving on to the next pro, spacious and practical interior. One of the biggest strengths of the 2026 Subaru Forester is just how livable it feels on the inside. Subaru has always focused on practicality over flash, and the new Forester continues that tradition with a cabin that genuinely makes everyday life easier. For starters, the interior space is exceptional for a compact SUV. You get 110.8 cubic feet of passenger volume, which is more than many rivals. Even some mid-size SUVs feel tighter in the back seat. Then there's the cargo area, which is one of the best in the segment. Open that wide rear gate. Subaru intentionally designs it almost like a big rectangle for maximum usability, and you get up to 74.4 cubic feet of cargo space with the rear seats folded flat. That's enough room for camping gear, bicycles, multiple suitcases, or even a full Costco haul without playing Tetris. Small item storage is also strong. Wide door pockets, a deep center console, and useful cubbies make the Forester feel like it was designed by someone who actually uses a car every day. Overall, the Forester's interior isn't about luxury gimmicks. It's about thoughtful space, smart ergonomics, and passenger-friendly comfort. It's the kind of SUV where everyone feels at home, whether you're commuting across the city or loading up for a weekend on the trails. Next up, let's talk about one of the Forester's strongest selling points: advanced safety and driver assist tech. Safety isn't just a checkbox feature for Subaru. It's practically part of the brand's identity. And with the 2026 Forester, that commitment shows up in a big way through a suite of intelligent systems designed to keep you and your passengers protected in real-world situations. The latest generation of EyeSight driver assist technology comes standard, now using wider-angle dual cameras with improved processing. This upgrade helps the Forester detect pedestrians, cyclists, and vehicles sooner and react more smoothly. Automatic emergency braking feels less abrupt, and Subaru says detection clarity has significantly improved compared to earlier versions. Highway driving also gets a major boost thanks to adaptive cruise control with lane centering, which keeps the Forester positioned naturally in its lane without the constant micro-corrections some systems demand. Long drives instantly feel less stressful. Higher trims introduce automatic emergency steering, which can help avoid collisions by steering around obstacles at low to moderate speeds, not just slamming the brakes. And of course, there's Subaru's unique driver-focused distraction mitigation system, which uses facial monitoring to detect fatigue or inattention. If your eyes wander for too long, it gently nudges you back to awareness. Combined, these features help cement the Forester as one of the safest choices in its class, ideal for families, commuters, and anyone who values a vehicle that actively works to protect you every second on the road. Now, shifting to another, but the last highlight. Solid reliability and Subaru's trusted brand reputation. One of the biggest reasons buyers stick with Subaru, sometimes for decades, is the brand's long-standing track record for durability, especially when it comes to their AWD systems. The 2026 Forester continues to build on that reputation, offering the kind of long-term dependability that gives owners genuine peace of mind. Subaru's proven symmetrical all-wheel drive isn't just a marketing phrase. It's a layout that's inherently balanced and mechanically simpler than many part-time or reactive AWD setups. That simplicity is a big reason these vehicles age well, even under demanding use. Many Foresters from the early 2010s still run strong today with 150,000 plus miles on the clock, which is a testament to Subaru's engineering consistency. The brand has also leaned into rugged reliability with the Wilderness trim, and the 2026 model continues that theme. It's not just tougher in appearance. The mechanical upgrades actually reflect real-world durability. The Wilderness can now tow up to 3,500 pounds, giving it one of the highest tow ratings in the compact SUV class. That puts small boats, dirt bikes, and utility trailers well within reach, something many soft-road-focused rivals simply can't match. Subaru's reliability ratings have historically hovered in the upper tier of consumer surveys, and owner communities often praise long-term performance in harsh climates: snow, rain, mud, you name it. For outdoorsy drivers, families, or anyone who values a buy it once, keep it for years type of SUV, the Forester fits that mold perfectly. It's not flashy reliability. It's the dependable, quietly rugged kind that make you trust the vehicle every time you start the engine. All right, let's get into the cons. And the first one is a big one: slow acceleration, especially with the base engine. The 2026 Subaru Forester may excel in capability and everyday usability, but when you press the gas pedal, the lack of urgency becomes pretty obvious. Its 2.5-liter naturally aspirated boxer engine, producing roughly 182 horsepower and 176 lb-ft of torque, simply isn't designed with quick acceleration in mind. That flat-4 layout helps with balance and durability, but without a turbocharger, the engine has to work harder to deliver power, especially in the mid-range. In real-world driving, this translates to a noticeable delay when trying to merge onto the highway or pass slower traffic. Independent tests consistently place the Forester's 0 to 60 miles per hour times between 8.5 and 9.2 seconds, which puts it on the slower end of the compact SUV spectrum. Rivals like the Honda CR-V Hybrid, Mazda CX, 5 Turbo, and even the Toyota RAV4 offer more energetic acceleration with stronger low-end torque. At a full load of passengers, camping gear, or a slight uphill climb, and the engine begins to feel even more strained. You'll often find the CVT holding high RPMs to compensate, creating a droning sound that makes the lack of power more noticeable. While the CVT is tuned for smoothness and fuel economy, it doesn't help the Forester feel any quicker. It just tries to mask the engine's limitations. For daily commuting, it's still manageable, and around town, driving rarely feels stressful. But if you value confident highway passing, quick throttle response, or a more spirited feel behind the wheel, the Forester's base powertrain may leave you wanting more, making this one of the most commonly cited drawbacks in owner and expert reviews alike. Moving on to the next con: infotainment lag and a slightly dated interface. While Subaru nails practicality and safety, the infotainment experience in the 2026 Forester still feels a step behind the competition. The centerpiece of the cabin is the 11.6-inch portrait-style touchscreen, which looks great on paper, but in real-world use, it doesn't always keep up. Several reviewers and owners point out that the system can feel laggy or slow to register inputs, especially during quick taps or swipes. Tasks like adjusting climate settings, which are frustratingly buried in the screen instead of having physical buttons, sometimes take an extra second or two to respond. It's not a deal breaker, but when you're driving and simply want to change the temperature or fan speed, that hesitation becomes noticeable. It's not just speed. The design itself is starting to show its age. The graphics, menu layout, and overall responsiveness feel more like something from a few years ago rather than a 2026 model. And because Subaru integrates many core controls into the screen, the lag becomes more noticeable and more impactful on daily usability. The good news? Apple CarPlay and Android Auto help bypass some of these issues. But the factory interface could definitely use tighter responsiveness and cleaner software optimization to match the otherwise modern feel of the Forester's cabin. Next up, a con that a lot of shoppers will feel right away: the higher price for what you get. The 2026 Subaru Forester has always been known as a practical, reliable SUV. But this year, the pricing jumps make the value equation a bit harder to swallow. The new Forester now starts at around $29,995, and once you add the increased destination fee, now roughly $1,450, your actual minimum spend comes out to about $31,445 before you even consider options. That's a noticeable bump compared to previous years. Move up the lineup and the price climb becomes even more obvious. The popular Wilderness trim, which used to be a sweet spot for adventure-focused buyers, now sits around $38,385 before destination charges and just under $40,000 once everything's included. That's more than a $2,000 increase from the outgoing model. The challenge here is that while Subaru did improve several elements, refinement, safety updates, towing, and chassis tweaks, the cabin tech, acceleration, and infotainment responsiveness haven't seen major leaps. Meanwhile, competitors in the same price bracket are offering more horsepower, quicker turbocharged engines, or hybrid powertrains with significantly better fuel economy. Some even include more modern interior tech or larger, faster screens as standard. So even though the Forester is still a solid, trustworthy SUV, the 2026 price tag edges into a territory where you expect a bit more performance, polish, or modernity. And that's where some buyers may feel the value isn't as strong as it used to be, especially when they compare it side by side with rivals offering more features for the same money. Now let's move on to another drawback. The fuel economy just isn't best in class. Subaru has always balanced capability with efficiency. And for an SUV that comes standard with AWD, the 2026 Forester's fuel economy is respectable, but it's definitely not a standout anymore. On paper, the Forester delivers around 26 miles per gallon city and 33 miles per gallon highway. Numbers that are decent for a full-time AWD setup, but don't exactly turn heads in today's competitive compact SUV market. Where things become more noticeable is in real-world driving. Owners and reviewers often report averages closer to 25 to 27 miles per gallon combined, especially with the Wilderness trim or when driving in hilly terrain. The engine's lack of low-end torque means it sometimes revs higher to maintain speed, which can nudge efficiency down during highway merges or uphill climbs. And when you stack the Forester against its rivals, the gap becomes clearer. Many competitors offer hybrid or turbocharged powertrains that easily outpace it. The Toyota RAV4 hybrid, for example, can deliver 40-plus mpg, and even some 2WD gas-only models like the Honda CR-V or Hyundai Tucson post better numbers thanks to more modern, efficient engines. The Forester simply can't match that kind of mpg performance, even though it's working harder to push a full-time AWD system. So while the Forester's fuel economy is good enough for most drivers, it doesn't lead the pack, especially if you're comparing long-term running costs or looking for the most efficient daily commuter. It's capable, it's consistent, but in a segment full of hybrids and more advanced powertrains, it's not the fuel economy champion. And moving on to the next con, body roll and handling trade-offs. The Forester has always prioritized comfort, visibility, and confidence on rough terrain. But those strengths come with a trade-off when it comes to sharp handling. Because of its higher ride height and softer suspension setup, the 2026 Forester tends to exhibit more body roll than some of its more road-focused competitors. You feel it most when taking tighter corners or executing quick lane changes. The suspension is tuned to soak up bumps, ruts, and uneven trails, which it does extremely well. But on paved roads, especially at higher speeds, it can feel a bit floaty. The Forester's softer springs and taller stance naturally shift more weight from side to side, giving it a slightly less composed feel during aggressive turns compared to a Mazda CX-5 or Honda CR-V, both of which offer firmer, more controlled handling. Even Subaru's updated chassis stiffness and improved dampers for 2026 don't fully eliminate this trait. It's not unsafe, and it's not unstable. It's just that the Forester leans more in corners, reminding you it's tuned for comfort and off-road capability rather than sporty precision. Drivers who prefer a tight, athletic feel behind the wheel may notice this immediately, especially when the car transitions rapidly from left to right. The upside? This same suspension tuning is what makes the Forester incredibly smooth over broken pavement, dirt roads, and rough winter conditions. But if you're after sharper, more engaging on-road driving experience, this comfort-first setup may feel like a compromise. So, after going through the biggest pros and cons of the 2026 Subaru Forester, it's clear that this SUV stays true to what has always made it special. Subaru has focused on practicality, everyday usability, and confidence-inspiring capability. The Forester continues to be one of the best choices for buyers who need a dependable all-weather family SUV with excellent visibility, strong safety features, and a comfortable everyday driving experience. But at the same time, it also comes with its own compromises. The engine still lacks excitement, the acceleration remains slower than most rivals, and the interior, while functional, may feel a bit conservative for those wanting more luxury or modern styling. Whether these trade-offs matter will depend on what you prioritize. If you value reliability, space, safety, and real-world usability above everything else, the 2026 Forester is still one of the most trustworthy options in the segment. But if you want stronger performance, premium cabin feel, or more cutting-edge tech, there are other SUVs that might suit you better. Thanks for watching. If these pros and cons helped you understand the 2026 Subaru Forester better, make sure to give this video a like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss more reviews and comparisons here on MotorNation. And let me know in the comments, would you pick the 2026 Forester, or does another SUV fit your needs better? I'm always reading your responses. This is MotorNation, bringing you the latest car reviews, news, and buying advice. I'll see you in the next video.